pace of time when the wind blows, when the river meets the sea.
My name is Andrew Price, and in this episode of the A to Z of Bushcraft we'll be looking at U for utensils. That could be anything from spoons or eating utensils to methods of suspending a pot over a fire so that we can boil water. What we're looking for is a nice straight piece of hazel. Hazel being a really good renewable wood, and if we cut it correctly it'll regrow and we'll get lots of new shoots to replace the ones we've cut down. It's called coppicing. So we're looking for a long straight piece of hazel. That looks ideal there. But we also have another feature that's useful to us, and that is the fact that it has a crook in it there. Now we can use that in several different ways for the support to suspend the pot over the fire, and also for the pot hanger itself. Now you have to be careful, even with very small saplings like this, they can be dangerous, so take your time and make sure there's no one close by that can be injured when you pull them out. So there we have our main support, and by cutting it just here, and then once here, we have a Y-shaped piece which is used as a support. I'm just going to make a bit of a point. So we've positioned the Y-shaped support next to the fire, make sure that's very secure. Next thing we need to do is to get this long supporting pole and lay it on the Y-shaped piece. This gives us the exact balance position so that it doesn't twist. So just flattening off this section here, position it over the fire. And that will be used as our hook so we can make an adjustable pot stand. Now I'm going to just cut a little cross into this piece of timber, sharp tap that side, just take away some of the surplus material. What we're looking for is something like a bird's beak, so that this section here protrudes out and scoops in just a little bit. So I'm going to take that a little bit further. So my favourite wood for any kind of eating utensil is hazel. So we're going to make a little fork, just a field expedient means of eating. And then what we're going to do is just split this hazel using the tip of our knife. And that's a handy way to make a fork very quickly in the woods. So it saves you having to carry one with you, or you could make one like that. So that's two possible options. Of course, we can learn how to make spoons and forks, but there's one thing we shouldn't ever go out into the woods without, and that is a knife. Now, if you're planning on using a knife to prepare food, a very good idea is to sterilize it by wiping it on the moss of a tree, like this. Because firstly, the moss has quite an effective scouring action, so it removes any dirt, but also moss contains a lot of iodine, so it actually has some antiseptic properties. The next thing we need to do is to make a spoon. Now, spoon carving is probably the most challenging of all the carving tasks. First of all, I have a piece of sycamore here and we've cut it, specifically choosing a curved piece. Next, we need to very carefully split it. So I'm just going to select a point that I want to split from. It's already started to look like a spoon. Now, the important thing when you're carving the bowl is to always carve upwards. You never carve down into the bowl. That will come later using a special tool called a spoon gouge. So the action is actually using your thumb. So you put your thumb on the back of the blade like this, and it's a a twisting motion using the thumb to effect a cantilever. Good thing is just to look along the spoon, looking for any lumps and bumps, and sycamore is a lovely wood to carve with. If you didn't have a gouge, one way of making the bowl would be to put the embers from the fire, just a nice piece of burning ember, and blow that in order to burn the depression into the wood. That can then be sanded down. But just for a functional, useful little spoon like this, we don't need to go to too much trouble.